When it comes to running Google Ads, one of the most common questions I'm asked is what is a good CPC? And in this video, I want to discuss a little bit more around what a good CPC is and why CPC is not really a metric you should concentrate too much on relative to some other measures you can take. So to illustrate why, what I've done is I've loaded up this HubSpot article, and I'll leave a link in the video description. It is basically a guide to some of the most expensive keywords in Google Ads. I'm not 100% sure how the data was calculated. I'm just going to take it at face value. But basically what it's saying is if you look at, say, the insurance and legal industry, keywords like Houston maritime attorney, someone's paying almost $1,100 a click. Houston trucking accident attorney, someone's paying almost $500 a click. This is crazy money, right? In terms of CPC, there's no way that you can look at $500 for Houston trucking accident attorney and say that's a good CPC, or can you? Because if you can take that $500 click and turn it into $1,000 of legal billing, or you can turn it into $5,000 of legal billing and 10x your money, it's actually a really good deal. So when it comes to a good CPC, what you should think about more is, are you getting a good deal in terms of a good return on your advertising? And if you are, CPC itself is not actually that important of a metric, not that important of a sort of KPI. Obviously, all things being equal, if you can maintain the conversion rate you're getting of your Google Ads clicks to leads, the conversion rate of leads into actual customers, and that all stays the same, then trying to get a lower CPC is generally a good thing, because that means you're going to get more clicks per dollar in effect, and then you stretch your advertising budget further and you should get more leads and therefore more sales. But it's a secondary consideration compared to your overall return on your advertising. And really the reason I've brought this up and shown you these examples here, and there's other ones like medical, for example, or marketing related terms. I mean, marketing law firm, here is another good example, right? Maybe more relevant to what I know about $120 CPC for marketing your law firm. So what sort of law firm marketing company wants to pay $120 per click on Google Ads? Well, one that understands that they can turn that $120 click into way more than $120 worth of business. That's the key thing. It's way better to pay $120 a click. It's a better CPC in effect than paying $12 a click or $1.20 a click and not getting leads at the same sort of rate and turning those leads into sales and revenue and profit for your business. So the most important thing to bear in mind with CPC is that in and of itself, it doesn't really mean much. If you go and set up, say, Google display advertising and really broaden up your targeting and, maybe target a couple of, second tier countries and so on, you can get a really, really cheap cost per click. You might get, 10-cent clicks or something like that. Those 10-cent clicks probably aren't going to turn into any business. And your law firm marketing company, or your, California auto accident lawyer, or your New Orleans maritime lawyer, these businesses that are paying big CPCs, into the hundreds of dollar CPCs, they're better off paying that kind of rate for a single click, than they are paying a whole lot less for less targeted traffic that doesn't convert so well. So what a good CPC is in Google Ads is really more about how effectively you're able to turn those clicks into leads or sales and ultimately into revenue and profit for your business. If you can make the numbers work off a $100 cost per click on average, if you can generate profit with that, then you're in a better position than someone paying $1 per click who is generating no profit for their business out of their Google Ads advertising. So don't get too caught up on what a good CPC is. Focus more on what do you need to generate sort of cost per lead wise in order to run profitable advertising. So let's just use a random example, and it's pretty rough maths, but I'll pick this Houston trucking accident attorney, $500, right? So $500 per click. Let's say that for every 10 clicks, you get one lead, and just you have 100% conversion rate on those leads. So every time you get a lead, you turn that into a customer, and that one lead is generating you, say, $50,000 worth of new work for your law firm. So it's costing you $5,000 per lead, in effect, 500 leads, $500 per click, times 10 clicks to get that one lead, but you're making $50,000 revenue off it. So it's $45,000 profit there in the bank, just off the back of these $500 clicks. That's actually a great return, right? It's a fantastic return. You'd be pretty happy with that. And so the CPC in this case, while it is very high in terms of sticker price, value and price, as with anything in life, it's not the same thing. A high sticker price, a high, sort of sticker shock price where you look at $500 cost per click and you think that's just insane, is actually not that bad if you consider that there will be businesses making profit off it. And the fact of the matter is that some of these, legal terms and medical terms and insurance terms and so on, there are advertisers advertising all day, 24/7, 365, paying these kind of figures per click. Now, these are definitely up the higher end, but even I've seen it, in the New Zealand context, businesses paying, $20, $30, $40 a click sometimes on certain terms. But it's worth it for them, right? It's worth it for them if they are able to generate more of a return off the back of that advertising. Ultimately, if you can double, treble, quadruple, whatever your money off the back of your Google Ads advertising, the CPC is really not that important. It's more, what do you need to spend at maximum to acquire a lead or a sale profitably when you plug in all of the other different kind of measurements and factors that go into it, like your profit margin and your average lead to sale conversion rate and so on. And I can't advise on that without knowing your numbers. But if you can make the math work, then really the CPC is not that important at all. Now, obviously, if you get to the point where you're, say generating $50,000 in business for every $5,000 in clicks on the keyword Houston trucking accident attorney, yeah, sure, you would want to take steps to try and drive down that cost per click. If you could halve that cost per click, you're effectively generating $100,000 for every $5,000 in spend you're having on that particular keyword. But you shouldn't do that at the detriment of actually getting people seeing your ads and clicking if the math stacks at paying a higher CPC. So really what a good CPC is in Google Ads is not necessarily picking a simple target for the CPC and sticking to it. It's much more around what do you need to be winning leads cost per lead wise in order, or sales cost per sale wise, in order to be profitable with your Google Ads advertising. Work that out, and if you can work that out and be profitable with your current CPC, then your current CPC is a pretty good CPC. Obviously, you could take steps to try and improve your advertising, tighten up your keyword targeting, improve your ad copy, and so on. And that might have the effect of lowering your CPC, but equally, it's fine if your CPC stays the same, and improving your ad copy simply improves your conversion rate, because really the effective impact and return of your advertising grows. So don't worry too much about what a good CPC is. You might want to go and check, depending on what your industry is and location is, if you can find any benchmarks, maybe a benchmark in your location and industry, and do some Googling for this. It might be $5 or $2.50 or $10 or whatever it is. And it's often helpful to compare yourself against some kind of basic industry benchmarking. But ultimately, if you're focused more on, hey, I need to generate leads for $100 or less, and as long as I'm generating leads for $100 or less from my Google Ads advertising, the profitability stacks up on the sort of back end, then that's the main thing to focus on. And whether it's costing you $20 per click or $5 per click, as long as the maths is stacking up, you're in a profitable position, and then you can work from there on improving your CPC, trying to lower it to generate more clicks, but also keeping an eye on your conversion rates and your lead quality and so on. It's much better if you've got, your profitability metrics and tracking in place to pay more per click, but get better quality leads that convert at a higher rate and convert into better sales that generate more revenue and so on. So you can see how this all kind of ties together. So yeah, long story short, what is a good CPC? A good CPC is whatever it needs to be to allow your advertising to run in a profitable fashion. As you can see here, some of these advertisers are paying crazy money, and they probably wouldn't be paying it per click if they weren't generating a positive return off it. Not many businesses are going to throw away $500 per click on these expensive keywords and never see a return on it. They'll be tracking that and watching it like a hawk. And if it takes $500 cost per click to generate profitable leads for your Houston trucking accident attorney business, then that's what it takes. As long as you're in the black, then you're pretty good, and you can work on improving your advertising from there, both to try and lower your lead acquisition costs by perhaps lowering your CPC and getting more leads per dollar in effect, and also by hopefully improving the quality of your advertising, your landing page experience, your post-lead follow-up to sale conversion, all those kind of things, so your advertising becomes even more profitable. So if you've got any questions about that, please do let me know. I'm happy to sort of workshop any examples you might have. Just leave a comment. It would be great to hear from you. If you found this video helpful, please do like it. Please subscribe for more Google Ads advice, and I'll see you next time.